I've always wanted to talk to college students about some fundamental truths of how society works, things that universities usually don't teach. For example, how to make money. If you haven't made money before, or you're just getting started, this video is for you. Just a heads up, this video won't teach you specific money-making methods. I won't talk about shady shortcuts or manipulative tactics. That's scammer territory. In The Wealth of Nations, Adam Smith said there are 3 ways to earn money: through labor, through capital, and through land. In this video, we'll only focus on the most basic one, making money through labor. We'll start from the simplest principles, so simple they might sound like cliches, but we'll go deeper step by step until you go, so that's how it works. In the end, we'll land on the key factors that determine how much money you can actually make. Let's begin with a basic piece of common sense. I studied at the School of Business at South China University of Technology. Being in Guangdong, the atmosphere was very business-oriented. But that didn't stop me from being a broke student. College textbooks were expensive. Not that I couldn't afford them, but I hated spending that much. So I used textbooks handed down from upperclassmen or bought secondhand from shops near campus. Yep, that's an example of saving money through information asymmetry. This kind of thing is very common in college. If you're a freshman and haven't bought your textbooks yet, seriously, don't rush to place that order. Anyway, one day in class, I opened up a well-worn copy of an economics textbook that must have passed through many hands. On one page, I saw a neatly written note that I still remember today. Where there is a complaint, there is a market opportunity. That one sentence taught me a simple but powerful truth. The essence of making money is exchange. Step 1, you notice that someone has a need. Step 2, you come up with a solution. Step 3, you offer that solution. Step 4, they pay you for it. If there's a complaint, it means there's a need that hasn't been met. If you have the ability to notice that need and design a solution, then you can make money. On the flip side, if you're self-centered and only focused on yourself, you'll have a hard time seeing other people's needs. If you don't have the skills to offer a solution, you won't make money either. Remember what I just complained about? I was broke, and textbooks were expensive. For upperclassmen, the books just took up space in their dorm rooms. Selling them was a hassle, so they were happy to give them away. Right there, you have a market opportunity for secondhand textbook trading. If you're in college and willing to try it out, you can definitely make a little money. Oops, I promised not to teach people how to make money, and here I am already doing it. Anyway, remember this basic idea. Making money means identifying a need and offering a solution. Let's make this idea a bit more complex by looking at more complicated needs and more complex solutions, which naturally lead to making more money. In traditional trade, it's simple. One person wants meat, the other can fish, so they shake hands and make a deal. But what if 1,000 people want fish? Now, the demand is more complex. You alone can't handle it. You need a more complicated solution. So you find 2 partners. Zhang San catches fish. Lic sells the fish. You manage the money. I have a weird habit. Whenever I intern or work at a company, I like to figure out, what needs is the company addressing? What solutions is it offering? What exactly are the employees doing to support that solution? And guess what I've discovered? There are really only 3 kinds of work in this world. People who provide the solution. People who sell the solution. People who support the first 2. Amazing, right? Now let's say 1 million people want candace with fermented black beans. Things just got super complex. Your trio won't cut it anymore. You need a full-blown factory with 300 workers. Here's how the division of labor looks. Production team. Zhang San leads a team of undergrads designing the canned fish. A group of vocational college grads work the production line. Postgrads in food science and engineering handle shelf-life testing in the lab. Sales team. You don't know much about it, but you've heard that marketing, branding, and sales are the magic trio. So you set up all 3 departments. Sales reps are vocational grads. The rest are undergrads. Support team, accounting, finance, contracts, legal, hiring, HR, all handled by undergrads. Strategy. Someone needs to plan the company's future. That's you. But things have grown too complex. How do you set goals for different people? How do teams work together? How do you share the rewards when a project ends? All of these questions become entire job roles. So you bring in your co-founder, Li Si, to handle management, something students can't easily do. I mentioned my bad habit earlier, analyzing org charts. And I found that most companies with a few hundred employees look more or less the same. Bigger companies are just scaled-up versions of the same template. Let's summarize this knowledge point. Complex needs require complex solutions. Complex solutions require teams, and for teams to work well, you need division of labor. Everyone does a piece of the puzzle. Collaboration. Everyone's work must fit together into one solution. In terms of labor, most companies are divided into production, sales, support, management. Now you know why large companies love group interviews, especially ones where nobody leads. Resumes show your degree and location, but they don't show if you can work well with others to achieve a goal. And companies really need that. If you can contribute to a complex solution, you'll make more money, but the money doesn't belong to one person. It belongs to the team. To get it into your pocket, it needs to be distributed. And the amount each person gets depends on their value. Let's look at how we calculate value. Zhang San, who does product development. His value equals quality of the product plan times number of units sold. If he improves the plan and sales go up, profits grow. He deserves a raise. Lic, the manager. His value equals the value his entire team creates. He affects the output of many people. He also deserves a raise. Worker A, who operates the production line. His value equals price per unit times units produced. But can giving him a raise increase the price or speed? Not really. So instead of a raise, he gets paid per unit piecework pay. Worker B, the sales rep. Her value equals price per unit times units sold. Again, a raise won't help much, but commission-based pay will. Here's the takeaway. Different jobs create value in different ways. You can group them into 4 types of labor-based value formulas: expert roles, management, assembly line production, sales. In the future, which formula will you choose to make your money? Personally, the only people I've seen earning million-yuan salaries from regular jobs fall into the first 2 categories. Now, let's talk about the 6 keywords that affect how much money a person makes. The first keyword is industry. There's an old Chinese saying, men fear choosing the wrong career, women fear marrying the wrong man. Nowadays, we might as well say, women fear choosing the wrong career too. Industry determines the value formula of a company. Take the gaming industry as an example. During the good years, I once heard someone say that after working in gaming, even selling things banned by criminal law seems dull by comparison. Why are salaries in the gaming industry generally higher? Because the revenue formula for a gaming company is sad face average payment per user, average cost per user, times number of users. The cost per user? Not exactly 0, but close to nothing. In most cases, your industry is determined the moment you fill in your college entrance exam preferences. The later you try to switch industries, the higher the cost. I have a friend who wanted to change industries 4 years after graduating with a bachelor's degree. So he spent a year studying, then another year pursuing a master's in Hong Kong. Now, 6 years after undergrad, he's starting over by applying for entry-level jobs like a fresh graduate. The second keyword is position. Remember the canned fish factory example? Experts, managers, production line workers, and salespeople, though they work in the same food industry and even in the same company, the way they create value is completely different. This determines how they earn money. Even if it's a wealthier gaming company, if your job is janitorial work, do the number of players and their cost have anything to do with your salary? Not exactly nothing, but almost. For most people, their role is locked in with their first job after graduation. The later you try to change positions, the higher the cost. That's because your experience accumulates over time, and changing roles often means starting from scratch. It's a loss for both you and the employer. The third keyword is city. Different cities have different living costs, and that results in drastically different salaries. I've seen cases where the same job, when relocated from Shenzhen to Chengdu, got a 50% to 70% pay cut. In most cases, your city is also determined when you choose your university. Where you study is where you often end up working. And the later you change cities, the more you have to give up. Connections, relationships, trust built through past collaborations, those things become harder to replace. The fourth keyword is company. Companies vary in profitability, so of course, their compensation packages differ. But generally speaking, within the same industry, same job, and same city, the difference in salary between companies isn't massive. Switching companies is relatively low cost, unless you're in a government job. Most people change jobs within 3 years of graduation. The fifth keyword is timing. This one's important. So many successful people will tell you they made it because they were in the right place at the right time. If you were in Shenzhen during the early days of economic reform, and you caught the wave of foreign trade, real estate, internet, and mobile internet, then yeah, even a pig could have flown. But this is also an unimportant keyword because individuals can't control the tides of history. The only thing you can do is prepare yourself before the wave comes. Don't believe me? Go look up what Pony Ma, Robin Lee, Lei Jun, William Ding were doing before they made their fortunes in the early internet boom. Or check out Zhang Xiaolong, Zhang Yiming, Huang Zheng, Cheng Wei, Su Hua, those who made it big during the mobile internet era. What were they studying? What were they working on? As for actively catching the wave, that's advanced level stuff. Not suitable for most people. What's more practical is to consistently build your abilities so that when the opportunity comes, you're ready. Remember how that superconductivity story blew up recently? Even though it didn't pan out, for a moment it gave all the material science folks hope. That's what I'm talking about. The sixth keyword is problem-solving ability. This is what your resume tries to showcase: your education, GPA, internships, research experience, skill sets. All these are just ways to say, hey, I'm someone who can solve problems. This means you can collaborate, create value, and claim a share of that value. So, let's put it all together into one formula. Income from labor equals industry plus position, plus city, plus company, plus timing plus problem-solving ability. When these 6 keywords are combined, we arrive at an interesting conclusion. Choices matter more than effort. Industry, position, city, company, these are multiple choice questions. They already determine the multipliers in your income formula. Your personal effort only tweaks the numbers up or down a little. The variation is quite limited. To summarize, if you haven't started making money yet, here are 4 things you should focus on during college. Keep collecting information so you can make smart choices in industry, role, city, and company. Train your eye to spot unmet needs. Where there are complaints, there are market opportunities. Practicing this mindset will help ensure you won't starve after graduation. Learn to collaborate, don't just bury yourself in books. Making serious money takes a team. Sharpen your problem-solving ability so that when your big break comes, you're ready. No regrets. You see, this is quite different from what most universities teach or encourage. Endless competition for grad school, GPA, or transferring programs. Sure, it's easier to manage students this way, but is it really the best for the students themselves? I think young people today have been steeped in a culture of toxic productivity and quiet isolation for far too long. They've accepted it as normal, even as something gentle. That's it for today's talk. Thanks for watching. Why are salaries in the gaming industry generally higher? Because the revenue formula for a gaming company is average payment per user, average cost per user, times number of users.